All right, so in this video, we're going to take a look at the case study notes portion of your quizzes in ADAPT. So once you have built a quiz and you've populated that quiz with questions, at this point, if you want, you can now add some case study notes, which are going to be some notes that will sit to the left of your questions and provide information for the learner. This is really critical if you want to build a case study sort of experience for the learner. Now, to access the case study notes, you will go to your quiz and you'll see that in the left-hand menu over here, there's an option for case study notes. And if I click on that option, it will bring me to this screen where I can start filling in that information. So to begin with, we have the common question text. Now this would be information that you may want to present to the learner about the series of questions overall, or the case study as a whole. So maybe we'll type in something like this. Okay, so that's some information that will be presented at the very beginning of this experience that we're going to build out. You'll see that there are save buttons over here, so you can make sure to save your work so that you don't lose it. And then down below, you'll see that we already have a section here that we can fill in, the patient information section. Now, while these fields are required, you can certainly put in some NAs if anything here is not applicable for whatever reason. But I'll go ahead and fill in this information. Okay, so now I've got some patient information filled in about this patient. I'll go ahead and save that. Now, next we can make a determination of what kind of additional information we want to present to the learner. And we have a number of different options that we can add to the case study notes up here in this drop down that says choose notes to add. You can see that it gives me a number of different additional notes that I can add on to present to the learner. So maybe I want some notes from the previous nurse. I want a handoff report. I'll click on that. And now you can see it has added a handoff report tab to the case study notes that will be given to the learner. Okay, and so down below here I can type in the information for the handoff report. I'll also point out that the information that you add to these tabs can be very content rich. You can embed images, you can provide hyperlinks, you can format the text, you can even embed videos if you were so inclined, insert tables. So a lot of information that you can put into these tabs. And I could add additional tabs here if I wanted to, maybe lab results, maybe I'll add a MAR, okay? And so all of this information is available for the learner to browse. So now, one thing I'll point out is by default, when you build out the case study notes, all of the case study notes that you build will be displayed to the learner starting on question number 1, and they will remain available through all of the questions that the learner completes. Now that said, you do actually have some flexibility here. So let's say that you want the learner to do questions 1 through 3 with only the patient information and the handoff report. And then you want the lab results and the MAR to actually come in at question 4. That's when you want those to be added to the information that the learner is receiving. You can actually specify that. If I go to lab results, I can choose in first application which question I want it to appear in. So I'm going to go down and say question 4. That's when I want the lab results to begin showing up. And likewise with the MAR, I want that to begin at question 4 and go onwards from there. In addition to that, we can actually update these tabs as well. So let's say that I want lab results to show up at starting at question 4, but then actually when the learner gets to question number 6, I want some updated lab results to be presented. We can actually do that as well if we go up to choose notes to add and we choose lab results again. If you choose lab results again, what's going to happen is it's going to add another text box down below here for lab results. And now I can choose a different question. So I'll say question 6. And then in here I'll say updated lab results. Okay. So now what's going to happen is questions 1 through 3, the learner will get patient information and handoff report. Questions 4 through 5, well actually 4 through 6, they'll get lab results and MAR as well. But then on question 6, the lab results they get will actually be updated. So I'll show you what this looks like. I'll click on Save. And now I'm going to go back to my questions. And let's go into question number 1. All right. And I'm going to go into Student View. And as I scroll down, you will see, so here is my question over here on the right. Over here on the left are the case study notes that I just made, and I can flip between them. You'll notice that lab results and MAR do show up here, but it indicates that there are no notes available, meaning that there's no information to give the learner yet on those pieces. Okay, but I've got all the other elements here, patient information and handoff report. Okay. I'm going to indicate some responses here. Actually, no, I'll just skip ahead. So question 2, same thing. Question 3, same thing. Question 4, you'll see that there's been some updates, and it actually visually indicates to the learner that there have been some updates with these checkboxes. Basically, the check marks are saying, hey, look at me, I've got some new information for you. So I'll click on lab results, and there you can see info about lab results, and MAR, info about the MAR. Okay, I'll go to question 5. All that information is still here. Now question 6, you can see that lab results now has another tick because now I've got updated lab results. Okay, so as the learner is progressing through the series of questions, as they're progressing through a given case, you can actually provide information and updated information through these case study tabs, which is just a really great way to take learners through this, this journey of treating a patient. So that is how you build your case study notes. And actually, I'll also point out really quick, let me go back to instructor view, and I'll jump back out to the assignment. And you can always go back into the case study notes and you can edit the information that you had built out here. So that information's all there for you to work on if you are so inclined. And one last thing I'll mention, I showed you how you can do updated lab results. You can actually do multiple updates. So if I do lab results yet again, now you'll see I have a third box that I could update it even more if I wanted to. So these can evolve as the learner progresses through their assessment. So that is how you build out your case study notes in the ADAPT platform. Thanks for watching.